Greetings, friends. It's Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
We're here today for another exciting and fantastical episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, Josh.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
At least it feels like it's been a while. It hasn't really, because we do this every week, right?
Yes, true. Live from our studio.
Live. Yes. So, Ryan, have you gotten into the Quordle, or the not Quordle, that's the other one, the Wordle craze at all?
I've played it once.
You played it once?
One time.
See, I am a bit of a nerd.
Yeah?
I like word puzzles and things like I don't like crosswords, but I like ciphers.
Sure. Yep.
So I've like when Wordle came out, I got really into it, and so I had it on my phone.
Yes.
And that's where I did it every day. I had a 101 streak. Like I had gotten 101 words correct before I missed my first one ever.
And it's, if I understand correctly, so that's 101 days, right?
Yeah, that's 101 days
Whoa.
of getting the 5-letter word correct. So, but I got a new phone recently.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and so all of my Wordle stuff is tied to the IP address on that phone.
Oh, boo.
So all of my stats reset.
No.
So I had gone, like I said, I had gone 101 days without missing a word, and then I missed one, and I was on like, since then I had been on like a 50-day streak of not missing a word. So I got this new phone. I've had this new phone for not a very long time. Like, you know, I got it after one of our episodes a few weeks back. I can't remember which one it was. Sorry, I was thinking I knew, but I don't. So it was like 3 weeks ago that I got my new phone, something like that. And so it reset all my stats. In that time, I have missed 4 words
You've been cursed.
and have not gone over 10
You've been jinxed.
in a row. And I am furious. I am absolutely fuming angry about the whole situation. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. And also, the other thing is like I had like most of the words that I had solved in like 3 turns. Like 3 was like my magic number. I'm like doing terrible, and I don't know what changed, but I blame the phone.
It's a curse.
The
Curse of the new phone.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, the one time that something doesn't tie itself to iTunes...
Right, well, and here's the kicker.
You.
But the kicker is this. So like it's from the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
And so they not like a week after I got my phone, they introduced a login feature.
Oh,
so that
of course
it
they
will
did.
track you, moving forward. And I was like, no, I'm not going to log in. I'm not going to do that.
No.
Especially now that I've gotten like gotten off to these like awful streaks and not getting any, like not accomplishing anything. I'm very aggravated, Ryan. Like it frustrates me to no end.
Man,
Because I was so like, I don't know. It's just something about it. I was happy with how I was doing, and like now I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Like I'm missing like stupid words that should be easy.
You've been jinxed.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know.
Explanation.
I've got to figure out what's going on. I've changed. I don't know if I've changed the way that I think about it or what. Because I got into I had started doing like, they've got all kinds of different ones. They've got, so Wordle was the first one, and then that got bought by the New York Times. But you've got Quordle, which is you have to figure out 4 words and like 9 guesses.
Okay.
Octordle, which is 8 words in like 13 guesses.
Don't they have a geography one too?
I'm sure there is.
Like
I don't do any the wordiness of it is what I like.
Yeah.
Like figuring out the words. I started when I was in high school. My mom taught me how to do. They're called cryptoquotes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And so it's basically like it's basically a cipher, and for a quote from a famous person, you have to figure out what each letter represents to make the quote. And so I've been doing those for forever, and that's why I feel like I'm really good at Quordle, or Wordle as it were. Golly, I think of Quordle more than I think of Wordle, I guess. I don't know. But that's why I think I'm really good at Wordle, because I can, I'm
Because you used to do those.
I'm used to doing those.
So I've heard a lot of people talk about it. So I'm curious. Do you have a word that you start with every time?
I do.
What is it?
It's trace.
Okay.
TRACE.
All right.
Then the reason I do that is because you've got a bunch of common. Within that word, there are a bunch of common letters that would go together.
Yeah.
That would also eliminate, like if that letter isn't there, it's going to eliminate this letter, and it can't be
several other things.
Or if it is in there, depending on where. So if it starts with a T, the next letter and the next letter is an R, then it's probably an H.
Yeah.
Something, or it could, H would be a common, thing to come off. So it makes it easy for a jumping off point if those letters are there. If none of those letters are there, then my next word would be would, WOULD.
Yeah.
Because again, same thing. You've got a lot of common, and so with that,
I've played it once. I got the word and I retired. Went out on top.
So that's my aggravation and frustration for the time being. So.
Well, you mentioned cell phone games. I got a funny cell phone story. Cell phone game story.
Cell phone game story.
Josh, I totally fell for the ad.
Oh no.
Yep, I fell for. I was a sucker.
That's problematic.
Hook, line, and sinker.
That's never good.
I was scrolling Facebook, which is bad enough as it is, and an ad for a game popped up, and I fell for it.
Yeah, it never looks that way. What game was it?
It did not. So it was one of those. I'm sure you've seen the ad. It's like one where there's like different color dots, and you have to use lines to connect. You have to, like, if there's like a 2 blue dots, 2 green dots, 2 red dots, you have to connect the blues and the greens and the reds without the lines crossing.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So I've seen this video 100 times, and I was like, all right, I'll try it. Basically, how it works is for every one level that's like that, where you draw the lines, there's like 10 levels in between where it's just like your standard like bubble popping game.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, no.
I like seeing the ad for the one where it's like you've got the guy who's trying to get the gold.
Yes.
And like you've got the water and the lava, and you have to the ad makes it like look like a toddler is playing the game and is a complete moron, and like you're like, that game looks like it could be like a fun puzzle game, but
there's 3 steps in the ad and they never get it right. Like, how?
But like that game is nothing like that, and it's just not, and so you're not going to waste your time with that.
I fell for it, Josh.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
I know, I did. It's terrible.
I feel like I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like I might have fallen for that once as well, but I don't remember what the game was or what the app was or whatever. But
because I was kind of doing the same thing you with Wordle. Like, I wanted something that sort of challenged my mind, and I liked the concept of trying to figure out those connecting the dots. Right. Yeah. I liked that puzzle, but so for every one puzzle, there's 10 games where it's like, try to pop as many blue bubbles as you can. I was like, oh,
can I skip that? I don't want to play that game.
And then I felt even like worse for falling for the ad.
Right. It's always bad.
Live and learn.
Ads are bad.
I probably won't do that again for like a couple weeks at least.
Oh, anything else, Ryan, that you got going on? I mean,
well, I just came back from Africa.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's amazing that we were able to record episodes.
I know. How do we do that? This podcast is so advanced.
Yeah, we do great things.
Something funny that happened while I was there. So usually when I go, I buy a local SIM card and put it in my phone so that I'm able to call my wife and kids. And my children did not want to talk to me while I was gone.
Oh.
Every evening, my wife would say, "Your dad's on the phone. Do you want to talk to him?" And they'd say, "No." I could hear them like in the other room say no.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Brutal.
The gist of it was, my oldest son thought that he would get sad if he talked to me. But on my end, it just sounded funny because I could hear him in the other room say, "No, I don't want to talk to my dad.
I don't want to talk to him."
So it was funny. But,
I mean, do they have like abandonment problems? Like when you go away, like Dad left us?
It was brutal on my oldest son when it was time for me to leave. He like went in the other room and just collapsed on the floor, and it was rough.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's tough.
Yeah, it is. And as a dad, it's like, rip out my heart.
Yep. That's hard.
So,
but you're back. So congrats on making it home.
I made it home safely
without contracting any sort of
that we know
dangerous
of.
and deadly
that we
disease
know of.
That we know of
As of now.
Yeah, cool. Well, Ryan, it's I
just remembered something.
Oh, Ryan remembered.
You and I talked about this after our last time we were together. So, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I made the comment that you had played a game called Limbo, I think.
No, not Limbo. Oh, yeah, Limbo, the dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when I came over, I saw on your screen something else. And then above it, what it was you had 2 windows open. Yes, and so something was in front of the other one. So I saw the word Limbo. And then I saw what at the time I didn't realize, but now what I know is the Shredder's Revenge Ninja Turtles game. So I commented that my first glance was it looked like Paperboy.
Yes.
And then after you showed it to me, I told you that I was like, if anyone looks at this, they're going to think I'm the biggest idiot. Like, what is he talking about? So I have to clarify. There were 2 windows open. I saw the word Limbo, and then I saw the opening screen for Ninja Turtles.
Ryan got confused.
I did get confused.
So, yes, when we were talking about Limbo,
I no longer think that it looks like Paperboy.
Yes, it does not look like Paperboy. So. But I still can't play it, so it's,
well,
maybe someday it will come back to... So it did leave Game Pass, I assume, and I'm assuming that that's what happened, that like I just lost my chance. But at the time, it said on Game Pass that it was leaving soon, not that it had left. And so
come on.
Maybe it'll come back and I'll get to finish it and give a better review of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So cool. Now I've cleaned that up and...
Well, Ryan, that's gotten clean. We've cleaned house.
Yes.
And we've talked about phone games.
Yes.
And internet games. So why don't we actually talk about real games?
What we're here for?
Yeah.
Crazy idea.
Do you have a game?
I do.
Okay, good.
I do.
I was concerned.
So... I recently talked about Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor.
Speaking of which, did you bring that?
I did, Josh.
Oh, wonderful.
I was going to surprise you with that when I left, but now you already know.
Yay.
Yes, I did bring that for you to borrow.
You told me you were going to.
I know, and then the next time I saw you, I did not bring it.
You were a liar.
So, I did bring that for you,
Yay.
And today I'm going to talk about Middle-earth: Shadow of War.
Oh.
The sequel.
There was a sequel.
Shadow of Mordor.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's go.
I like the sequel better than the first one.
Oh, wow.
I do.
Nice.
Yeah. And I obviously, if you heard the last episode, you know I really liked the first one. So I really like the second one too. They introduced some new mechanics that I think are really well done. It's sort of a more well-rounded, polished game.
Yeah.
Plus, they keep some of the old mechanics. I just think they did a really good job with it. Just like the first one, quite violent, so can't play it in front of kids.
Right.
But still a really, really good game that you should try to play.
Okay.
I looked it up on how long to beat, and about 20 hours for the main story.
Okay.
Could be as much as 60 hours if you are a completionist and try to find everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good game. I would recommend it. Trying to think of some notes that I wrote down here.
Well, I've got a question.
I'm
trying to think of notes. Like so we discussed Shadow of Mordor came out in 2017, I think.
Yes.
So how recent is Shadow of War? When did that come out?
Our tech department will find that out.
Find that one out. Okay, that's good because they should work on that for sure. So in the meantime, while our tech department is working, so it's, we talked about with Shadow of Mordor how it was kind of Assassin's Creed-esque.
Yes, very much so.
So it's still kind of in that same vein.
Yeah,
I assume, and
yes,
has
very
a lot of the
much.
same elements.
A lot of the same mechanics. I remember you asking with Shadow of Mordor if you were sort of forced to playing stealth, like do you have to play that?
Yes.
You do the same, and I said you didn't have to. Same with this one. You can very much go, all out, no stealth, very loud.
Yeah.
No problem.
Sure.
So Shadow of Mordor released in 2014.
2014.
Shadow of War released in 2017.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. 2014. Sorry, I was wrong on the.
So
on the initial question there.
I actually got Shadow of War. I think 2 years ago.
Okay.
I was at GameStop and they had one of those like buy two get one free or some one of their sales.
Yeah, one of the.
What it came out to was I got this game for the like $4.
Oh, nice.
I was like, yeah, I will take that for $4.
Right.
So yeah, it released in 2017. Very much worth playing now.
Okay.
But you got to watch, like I said, you got to watch out.
Sure.
Very violent. Lots of stabbing.
Lots of stabbing.
Lots of stabbing orcs.
Stabbaroo.
You are still playing the same character that you played with
Shadow
as
of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor, so that's fun to carry on the storyline. I don't want to say too much about that because I don't want to spoil anything. But
yeah, sure. Please don't.
You definitely carry on the storyline.
It's good to know that the character doesn't die in the first one, though.
Spoilers. Well, actually, I mentioned last time he dies in the very beginning of the first game.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah. So he's
Right.
not dead, but not dead.
Not dead yet.
So yeah, trying to think of what else.
I'm trying to think of what else.
What else I would want to say.
Do you know if they've got any other sequels planned?
Not that I've heard.
Okay.
I hope they do. I'm hoping that this new Amazon series that's coming out sort of kicks up some interest in that whole world.
It'll do that or make people furious. I think.
Well,
it's
that
trending towards
too.
the other way.
It's trending the wrong direction right now,
but just knowing the Lord of the Rings fans and knowing what the direction Amazon is taking the show, I don't think that most of the fans are pleased. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it'll be fine. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, so definitely play it. Definitely don't play it in front of your kids. It's also the story is really good, and you're gonna want to pay attention to it. So
make sure you've got no distractions, and you're watching the.
It is something that you can play in relatively short bursts.
Yeah.
Because the game is constantly auto saving, so every little thing you do, the game auto saves.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So even if you don't actually do a mission, if you just like wipe out a bad guy, it saves that. So it's constantly doing it.
Sure.
Yeah, and so it's a good game. I would recommend playing it.
Recommend
but
it.
Just
be
aware of
go to your
eyes.
local GameStop, and you can probably find it for relatively cheap.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
On Amazon Used, I'm sure it's not too much. So cool. So Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, both good games, worth playing.
Yes,
so for
sure.
Awesome. Well then, that leads me to my game, I guess.
Yep. So
Ryan, I found. So we all know that Josh likes puzzles.
This is true.
Like Josh is big into puzzles. I love one of my favorite things to do is like a group activity that I don't get to do often is escape rooms.
Yes.
I really enjoy doing escape rooms. I've actually only ever done 3, but like they've been like the 3 like some of the best outings that I've been on.
Yeah.
Most recently with my wife. While we were on vacation, we went out and that was something that we did together. We found an escape room where we were and
we should do an escape room sometime.
We should.
I've never done one.
Oh, they're phenomenal fun.
They seem like fun.
They're great fun. We'll get together with Matt. We'll do a Dead Tired Dad's escape room.
Ooh.
That would be fun. We can record it and upload it.
I was
to
going to say,
YouTube.
can we record ourselves?
I doubt we can. I doubt they will. I doubt
Probably
the place will. And seeing as we're not famous.
Well, I was just
Wherever
going to
we go.
say, just mention that we're podcasters.
We've got a
and
podcast.
They'll be like,
maybe you've heard of it.
with your massive audience, yes, you can record here.
That'll draw people in. No, I doubt they will. They would let you record. So anyway, I really like escape rooms. So on Game Pass a few weeks ago, I came across this game that was called Escape Academy, and I was like, okay, that
Yes.
sounds like fun.
Don't mind if I do.
That. So I got it, and basically it's Hogwarts escape room.
What else
You know,
could you want? I mean,
Like so basically it starts off, you go into this rundown like escape room, quote unquote, air quotes around that, into the and they've got this. They only have one room in this escape room that you're going to, and you figure it out, and then once you figure it out, you try to leave, and like the place is shut down.
oh, of course.
And so then you have this larger puzzle that you have to solve, and then
Yeah.
you solve it, you unlock this underground area where the person who greeted you at the desk is there, and she's actually the headmaster of this school for escape room people. They're called are escapists. Is what they're called.
I see the Hogwarts reference
Yeah,
now.
so
Gotcha.
you go off to Hogwarts for people who like escape rooms, I guess, to become a great escape artist
see.
from escape rooms. So you get 10 or 11 escape rooms that you get to kind of do that are variously challenging depending on where you are in the game, various challenges. Some of them are, some of them say they're easy when to me they seemed a little bit harder than they should have been. And didn't make as much sense as they could have. But just like in a real escape room, you do have the option to get hints if you get stuck.
Right.
Personally, I don't like getting hint. Like even
Yeah.
when I'm doing an escape room, I don't like asking for hints. It bothers me.
Yeah.
But I feel, and I don't know if it's a thing with escape rooms that they're designed to be difficult enough that you have, like at some point you would have to ask for a hint, or if they're to a point, or if it's a thing that's like you should be able to figure this out on your. Like I don't know how people design those, like what the mindset is with that.
Sure.
But,
yeah.
But anyway, so I tried not to use hints. There were a couple levels that I got a little frustrated with, and I just ended up using way more hints than I. But most of them I was able to get through, only using one or two hints here or there. It's a very cool game. It doesn't take. I beat it in a few days. It does not take.
Hey.
Yeah.
Josh beat it.
I beat it. That's right. It doesn't take too long to actually beat. And the great thing is that whenever, or for most of the rooms that you're going to do in the academy, quote unquote, there's a time limit that it sets on the room.
Yeah.
So going in, okay, I'm going to be done in 30 minutes.
Oh, right,
with
right.
this. Like
Yeah,
this
no
is
matter
going
what.
if I escape, great. If not, I'm done. Like
Yeah.
or so it's very cool in that way. Like it gives you kind of that that insight. You don't have to worry about how much time it's actually going to take you to do. So very cool there. Lots of different puzzles and lots of little things to kind of figure out. The drawback to this game, couple things. One, 0 replay value. Like absolutely nothing.
You answered a question I had.
Absolutely no replay value because once you solve it,
Puzzles don't change.
The puzzles don't change.
That was going to be a question of mine.
So there's that. The other thing is there is a story. There is a story that plays out in the course of solving the puzzles. And the thing is, if you fail one of the puzzles, like it's not like they can be like, oh, your game's like game over, you're done. Like you don't get to finish the game. No, you get to go back and redo the thing. But now all the solutions all the way up to where you got.
Yeah. So
And so then it's just like, you have, 20 minutes to solve, to solve one thing that you couldn't figure out the first time around.
So if you're like 3/4 of the way through when time runs out, and you can just restart and do those 3 things real quick because it doesn't change at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it kind of, to me, it kind of cheapens the experience. But what are they going to do? I mean,
yeah,
you could randomize the, where things are, but still it would be because the puzzles would basically have to stay at least basically the same, and you would just have to, figure out where it had been randomized, whatever they randomized. So, it's worth a play. I had it. It's on Game Pass, so I got it for free. I don't know if there's a cost to it. Typically, I would say I wouldn't pay more than $15 to $20 for it.
Okay.
If you were going to buy it, so, but yeah, actually, really really fun. There's lots of different puzzles. In one of the puzzles, it has you translating Russian, and just,
sure,
yeah,
like you do every day.
Yeah. And basically, I mean, you find a translation book, and as you go through the game, like you figure out, like, okay, if I'll find, okay, this has, you kind of start to figure out, like, everything you find, like, you're going to end up doing, like, you're probably going to end up doing something with, something has to get used for, like, so if you find something here, then that's going to be, so you learn to kind of keep your eyes open for things. But overall, it was a great experience. I don't know, like I said, the fact that once you fail, it just becomes super easy.
Right.
And so you don't get, and after every kind of escape, you get a grade. And so, like, well, yeah, I got through it in 5 minutes because I knew I had like one thing left to do, and I figured it out. I just didn't have time to get it in, or whatever.
I got an A+ because last time I got an F, and then I just sped through it.
Yeah. And then there are a couple things that are really aggravating. So, like, there are some rooms that are actual, like, quote unquote missions, where you're actually out in the real world doing, like, escape things, trying to help, doing, like, secret agent type stuff, and the communication, like you'll be in communication with these other people, and they have these phrases, because they're just computers, they have these phrases that they repeat over and over again.
Oh, sure.
And so, like, there's one mission in particular, one room in particular, where, like, I was just, like, ready to stab someone in the face because of how often they were talking. That? They were just talking constantly, and I was like, please shut up. Just stop talking.
So, I have a question about this game. Does it have, I mean, it may not matter once you've beat it, but does it have multiplayer?
It does have multiplayer.
That'd be kind of fun.
I know, and I'm not sure how it works, because, like I've said before, I love multiplayer games. I just don't have anyone, like, who can play them with me, or who has time to play them with me. Talking to you, Matt.
Wow, called out right in the middle of an episode.
In the middle of a podcast. Yeah, so, like, Matt would be the person who I would play stuff like that with, and So yeah, I would love to try multiplayer with it. I don't know what but I really don't know what it looks like. If it does give you randomized, that would be an interesting thing. If it just kind of gave you randomized,
that would be cool.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
But I really, like, just based on my playing through the game, I highly doubt that that's the case. I'm sure it's literally just the same puzzles that you had.
Yeah.
In the single player. So I think the better way to play it as a multiplayer thing would be to, and this would probably be what it would be like, would just be to have people in the same room with you, helping you solve, like, you guys working together to solve the puzzles.
Yeah.
So, Like I said, I played it on Game Pass. I don't know if it's available anywhere else, and I think at least my tech department, my portion of the tech department has stepped out for the moment, so I can't look it up.
Fired.
I can't fire them. I just got them. If you haven't realized yet, our tech department is our cell phones. Trade secret, and I've left my phone somewhere else. I don't have it on me right now, so
People are going to be shocked.
yeah, no,
Shocked.
we don't actually have a tech department.
They are going to be shocked.
Crying shame. So yeah, so that's Escape Academy, also known as Hogwarts for escape rooms.
Hogwarts escape rooms.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, no, it's a really. I thought it was a cool concept for a game.
Isn't there a Hogwarts game coming out?
There is a Hogwarts game coming out. It might already be out. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
But yeah, it should be coming out soon if it's not out. I've heard some stuff about it, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Shadow of War.
Yes.
Give it a play.
Play that one for sure. Not in front of the kids, but play it.
Escape Academy. Probably give it a play if you've got Game Pass, for sure. Worth your time.
There you go. Look at that.
To just kind of play through in a few hours. And if anyone out there gets it who's listening to this, let me know and I will play with you.
Boom.
Like we can play, and I will solve. I'll know how to solve all the puzzles already, and you can just sit back and relax.
New high score.
So, all right. Well, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast. If you like this episode, you should do all the things, such as follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And then you can subscribe to the podcast so that it will download automatically to your phone every single Friday when this thing releases.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Do all the things.
Do all those things. Send us a comment. Please tell us things. We want to hear from you. What do you think? If you've got games you want us to play that you think would be good for us to play and that you think you'd like to hear a review on, we'd like to hear about those too. So you can always shoot those our way.
Speaking of, I've got a fun thing.
Oh, Ryan has a fun thing to end this off with.
So one of, in my opinion, our greatest episode featured Lawnmower Simulator.
Yes, Lawnmower Simulator.
My father-in-law emailed me and told me that next week on Epic Games, Lawnmower Simulator is free. So, I'm going to download it.
Oh, of course you are.
And so should you.
Yeah. So
if
you want to waste your time for and figure out take an hour to figure out that the game is not worth your time, download Lawnmower Simulator. If you haven't listened to that episode, if you don't know what we're talking about,
you must
go back and listen to the episode. #sponsor us, and you will enjoy. Hopefully you will enjoy listening to that as much as we enjoy talking about that episode, and as much as we enjoyed making it. That was a great episode.
It was a good time.
Absolutely a great time. So, anyway,
all right,
that's going to do it for this episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast. Thanks again for listening. You guys are awesome, and we will catch you next time on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.